We are one day from getting the biggest program that MLB The Show 23 has ever seen. Season 2 and Set 2 is coming tomorrow, and there are a lot of things to talk about and a lot of things that you guys need to make sure you guys are doing before tomorrow, before it is too late and you are going to be missing out on a ton of stubs. Before we get in this video though, make sure you guys drop a like and a sub as we're getting closer to 10,000 subscribers. Let's get right into how you guys can set yourself up for a big day tomorrow. So the first thing that I am doing is there are a ton of new cards that are already announced that are coming to the game that are going to be huge. The Set 2 collection is rumored to have Randy Johnson, 99 overall. He ended up getting leaked. A bunch of other cards like that. The Set 2 season and the Season 2 program is going to have guys like Jacob deGrom and Max Muncy, Stephen Kwan. Those are looking like that's going to end up being the bosses. Another thing is there's going to be a ton of henchmen that we're going to be seeing through Team Affinity. Now, if you don't have Team Affinity and you haven't been on Team Affinity, you need to make sure that you are grinding that and that you're finishing it. There is a chance that Season 2 is a continuation of Season 1. So if you haven't done Season 1, there's a chance that you're going to have to actually end up doing all of Season 1 Team Affinity for like the AL East, and then Season 2 will be after that. Now, I don't know completely. It's not completely confirmed, but it's been about 50-50 on years past whether or not they do it. I remember MLB The Show 20 was like that, and I believe MLB The Show 21 and 22 was the way that it didn't matter what you did in past experiences, but I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up going that route. We'll see what they do. I hope that they don't, but one thing you can make sure that you are doing is make sure that you're staying on top of Team Affinity and at least be prepared to grind it tomorrow if you have to end up getting these Set 2 cards. Another big thing that I am doing is you can see my stub counts at 200,000, but I have a lot of options here. I have a lot of options on some of the cards that I can end up selling for a ton of stubs right now. Ken Griffey being one of those for 150. Now, I like Griffey. I don't love Griffey, and I know there are a couple other options that are going to be just as good that end up coming out tomorrow, and so I'm thinking about going a different way. Guys like Trey Turner could end up getting the boot. Guys like Manny Machado, I could end up selling for 81,000 stubs. And the reason why I'm talking about this and I'm thinking about getting my stub flow up is because there are a ton of good cards coming to the game tomorrow. And there are a lot of things that I'm going to want to end up going after. Number one is I need a new catcher, and I need some really good arms. Clayton Kershaw, as you saw in the thumbnail, just got confirmed that he is coming in a pack tomorrow. That is going to be the best pitcher in MLB The Show 23, and you're going to want to be able to get your hands on that guy who's going to be through packs, meaning he's going to be at least 100,000 stubs. So you're going to need at least 100,000 stubs for that. I'm going to need about 100,000 stubs to go after a catcher, and you're just going to want stubs. You're going to want stub flow. There's a couple guys that I'm just sick of using that I want to use new guys, more fun guys, and I'm cool with getting rid of and trying new things, such as Manny Machado getting booted, such as Eddie Matthews getting booted. I know that he's not someone who, or actually he is sellable for 70K. I could sell him if I wanted to, but there's just a lot of cards that you need to be thinking about getting rid of before their values absolutely plummet. You have about 24 hours until then, because whenever it ends up happening and all of these new better cards come out, the cards that are worse are going to become less expensive. It doesn't really matter, and especially the cards that are just holding value because they're part of Set 1 collection, so people can end up getting Pedro and end up getting guys like that. You're going to want to make sure that you're selling those guys because they're not going to have as much value anymore, especially because you are going to be running out of time where you can end up using these Set 1 guys, such as Trout. All of these guys are Set 1. They are going to be able to be used in Set 2, but once Set 3 comes out, all these cards aren't going to be available, so Set 1 collection cards don't hold value as much as you think, unless it's guys like Chipper that will probably end up staying in my lineup as a wild card the whole year. The last thing you guys are going to want to make sure you guys are end up doing is you're going to want to make sure that you have all of your programs done that you want to be. Tomorrow we are going to be getting a brand new ranked season, so if you haven't ended up grinding ranked seasons and gone through that whole reward path and gotten the cards that you want to end up doing, you have about a day to do so, which isn't a lot of time, but I ended up going through it. I haven't grinded ranked that much this year. You can see I'm 20-2, so I've only played 22 games so far. But I've still grinded it enough to get the cards that I wanted. I wanted Gagne. I ended up getting the whole program done so I could end up getting Gagne. I took him. I didn't really get Lou Gehrig or Gunnar Henderson. I know a lot of people love these cards, but I just didn't really care for them. I've used these guys, like I've used Lou Gehrig like every year. I wanted to use somebody else, and so I got Gagne. He's a good bullpen guy for me, but he's another guy who's 41,000 stubs, and going into tomorrow, there's going to be a lot of better cards, and with how many bullpen arms there are, I know Gagne is amazing, but there's going to be a lot of amazing cards that you're going to get, such as Gagne along the way. So he's another option for a guy that I'm okay with selling with. I'm okay with selling this guy because There's just going to be other bullpen guys. Bullpen guys aren't something that I lose sweat about, that I feel bad about getting rid of, unless they're just like absolutely disgusting. There's just so many. Even the monthly awards relievers I think are pretty close to as good as Gagne, and there's a lot more relievers in the game now than there were, especially right-handed relievers. Left-handed relievers are a little bit harder, but right-handed relievers right now, there's a ton of good ones. And the last thing that I'm going to say that you guys probably should end up doing, if you haven't already, is make sure that you guys are staying on top of Stub Methods. Now, Stub Methods are going to be crazy tomorrow. If you don't know what my Stub Method is, I would definitely recommend you checking out one of my Stubs videos. But as far as flipping certain cards, usually I go after these set one gaps that are rather huge and have high volume. One way that I check if they have high volume or not is through the MLB The Show companion app. You can actually see how fast they're moving and selling, and Show Zone as well is a really good place to go. It's a website if you haven't heard of it, but it'll tell you the best cards to flip on the market right now and the best profit per card. And usually I end up scrolling down a little bit through that list, because usually the top 5 guys or the top 10 guys, other people are doing the same thing. And so you're going to want to end up finding somebody that works for you, who has a good gap, and you're going to end up taking that and making a ton of stubs off of it and turning it into profit. On big content days, it's the best day to be on the market, because there are so many people on the game and there's so many people selling cards like crazy to get new cards that they don't care if they undercut people by 4,000 stubs, by 2,000 stubs, and you're just going to come in, sweep in, and you're going to get all of those stubs. Another big thing is there is a roster update tomorrow. If you're wondering who will go diamond in the roster update, there are a ton of guys that have been playing out of their minds that are going to end up getting a big boost. For example, I'm just going to go over a couple of them. Matt Chapman is a guaranteed lock to go diamond. He's an 84 right now. He's only going for 3,200. And one thing I'll say about these live series cards is I'm probably going to end up buying up a bunch of Matt Chapmans, because these guys they don't end up selling for 3,200 stubs. Even if they go up 4,500, 4,200, 4,700, and Matt Chapman is an MVP candidate this year. He is killing the ball. He is absolutely going crazy. So he's a great person to end up buying and making a ton of stubs. Marcus Semien has been playing really good. Matt Olson has been playing really good. Drew Rasmussen has been pitching really good. Joe Ryan is looking like a Cy Young candidate. He's only going for 2,700. He could get a +2 boost. He's absolutely killing it on the mound right now. Juan Soto has started to kind of play good again. I would still stay away from Juan Soto. I don't think he'll go up this update, but eventually I do think Juan Soto is going to bounce back and end up becoming a diamond again. Dansby Swanson's been alright, but you can tell by some of the prices of the cards that are going to end up going that have just a small, they just barely need anything. Matt Chapman's one that's a lock. I would honestly say Joe Ryan is pretty much a lock. And so just keep your head on and make sure that you are taking advantage of these days, because it's a great opportunity to make a ton of stubs. If you have stub flow, go into the roster update, go into my Stub Method, and just grind, and you will be so thankful. We got a big day tomorrow. I'm really excited. If you enjoyed this video, though, and you want to see more like this, if this helped you out, make sure you guys drop a like and a sub, as we're getting really close to 10,000 subscribers. I'll talk to you boys later. Have a great rest of your day, and peace.